Are you obsessed with the meaning of life? This certainly is an interesting question for me of all people to ask. I mean, after all, this entire channel's purpose is all about helping other people find the meaning of their life, or better put, to help other people find ways to live their lives more meaningful altogether. And even though I strongly believe that someone should always strive to live their life in ways that are significant and purposeful, I do have to ask, can this go too far? Can you get so consumed with the big question that you end up losing sight of all the meaning your life already holds? To the point even where you're so focused on meaning that you end up living a completely meaningless life. These questions will be answered in today's episode of The Meaning of Nerd Show, a high-production video series focused on the philosophy behind your favorite cartoons, anime, and more. So let's now dive into these topics and discuss the movie Toy Story, a movie that holds a special meaning hidden within. So, before we tackle Toy Story's approach to the meaning of life, let's first recap the plot for those who last watched it when it first came out 27 years ago. God, I'm starting to feel old. But anyway, the story introduces us to a young boy named Andy, and inside his room, we see a bunch of toys that are shown to have human-like traits. They can think, talk, and even move around however they may want to. And, just like humans, they even seem to have a dominance hierarchy, on top of which is their leader, Sheriff Woody, Andy's favorite toy and the group's head decision maker. Whatever takes place inside that kid's room first has to go through him. And while at first things seem pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary, aside from the fact that we're looking at talking toys, we quickly find out that Andy's birthday is just around the corner and all the toys are afraid of being replaced by a newer and fancier plaything. And though Woody tries to calm them down, he fails to see that he's the one getting replaced here. Because Andy just got the newest toy in town, a Buzz Lightyear action figure, equipped with all the latest gadgets, from a karate chop action to a pulsating laser and all the way to high pressure space wings. Most definitely not the easiest thing to contend with. And so, needless to say, Woody turns incredibly jealous and combative. Because the one thing he ever had was his position as Andy's favorite toy. The meaning of his entire life was all about being the number one toy for this kid. And now, in one instance, it is all being taken away from him. Just like that, a phony space ranger took his place. And to make things worse, he's not just any toy either. Because this Buzz Lightyear is so delusional that he actually thinks he's the Buzz Lightyear.
These are plastic. He can't fly.
They are a beryllium carbonic alloy, and I can fly.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Okay then, Mr. Lightyear, prove it.
All right, then I will. To infinity and beyond!
He actually believes he can truly fly and that he is actually a space ranger on a secret mission to save the universe. Oh, how betrayed Woody must feel right now. Not only was he replaced, but he was replaced by a toy who was too dense to realize that he is a toy. And then, because of it, in a moment of desperation, Woody more or less accidentally kicks Buzz out the window. And after a long argument with the rest of the group, what ensues is an extensive Odyssey-like storyline where our two main characters have to undergo various difficulties to try and find their way back to Andy's room. And while there are many interesting concepts to tackle within their adventures, there is one moment by the end of their journey that I think perfectly summarizes this entire movie. The moment where both Buzz and Woody are trapped in their neighbor's house, and where both of them are one step away from embracing nihilism. One step away from embracing a life devoid of any meaning whatsoever.
I need your help.
I can't help. I can't help anyone.
Well, sure you can, Buzz.
No, Woody. For the first time, I am thinking clearly. You were right all along. I'm not a space ranger. I'm just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy.
I mean, what chance does a toy like me have against a Buzz Lightyear action figure? All I can do is...
There's a snake in my boots.
Why would Andy ever want to play with me when he's got you?
I truly believe that this scene and the overall message of this movie play a big role as to why this classic ended up becoming so popular. I think it's because While it's true that the main characters are toys, we can still relate to them so well because the struggle they go through is a human struggle. It's a struggle that all of us have to endure at some point within our lives. The struggle of not knowing what the meaning of our life is. We are always told to look for meaning in our lives, to look for something that gives us purpose, but let's be honest, that's not an easy task to accomplish. And so inevitably, many of us end up putting some mission, some goal ahead of everything else, making us believe that this is what gives our life purpose. But this is where the danger can arise, where you can get stuck believing that this one thing is the sole purpose your life has, that being a space ranger is what makes your life worth living, what makes you a Buzz Lightyear worthy of purpose. Or that being a kid's favorite toy and being the one adored by everyone else is what makes your life meaningful. That if someone were to just challenge your position, that then suddenly your life would lose all its purpose because of it. And this is a dangerous place to be because while it's easy to fall into this hole, it's incredibly hard to climb back out of it. And if you're wondering, this hole, this abyss, is called nihilism. The belief that your life and life as a whole has no meaning whatsoever.
To infinity and beyond.
Not a flying toy.
Get your Buzz Lightyear action figure and save a galaxy near you. Buzz Lightyear. Welcome back to the Point Richmond Bowling Championship.
Out among the stars I sail, way beyond.
And you may be wondering now, how is it that Woody and Buzz fell into the abyss of nihilism? Well, it's because both of them failed to see that their lives already had a purpose aside from the one they wanted it to have. That by them being alive, that alone is a miracle worth living for. That they have value regardless of how much their lives actually align with the goals they want for themselves. That they have value for the simple fact that they are alive. But sadly, for the longest time, they weren't able to see that. They were so obsessed and focused on a certain ideal for themselves that they failed to see how important they already were. It doesn't matter that you're not a real space ranger. It matters that you filled this boy's heart with fun and joy whenever he played with you. And it also doesn't matter that your position as leader and favorite toy is being challenged. Deal with it and find purpose in the challenge itself. And even if you end up being replaced, that doesn't mean your life lost all meaning because of it. You can move on and look for better things ahead. Because the real meaning within life is in living it. In experiencing everything it has to offer. All the success and abundance it has to give. But also, of course, all the suffering and turmoil it has to throw at you. And don't get me wrong. Looking for something that gives you an extra push, something that will fill you with purpose for the time being, is an honorable and good thing to aim towards. But just make sure that you don't neglect and forget about the things that already give meaning to your life. The things that fulfill you, regardless of whatever numbers you may be pursuing. The things that truly give meaning to your life. Like life itself, everything it has to give, and all the people you love that play a part in it. Because at the end of the day, being a good father, mother, child, or friend is a multitude of times more important and more meaningful than being someone who only focuses on monetary success and fame. Because at the end of the day, being a good toy, a good friend, is way more fulfilling and meaningful than being a space ranger. Become obsessed with finding the meaning of your life, and you may face eternal strife.
Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Being a toy is a lot better than being a space ranger.
Yeah, right.
No, it is. Look, over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest, and it's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. You are his toy. You're a Buzz Lightyear. Any other toy would give up his moving parts just to be you. You've got wings. You glow in the dark. You talk. Your helmet does that whoosh thing. You are a cool toy.
Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Over here we use philosophy and psychology to better understand life and to find our own meaning within it. There are many exciting things coming up, so if I were you, I'd subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date. See ya!